Hello, everybody. Well, everybody who's watching the cool stream, that is, I was a bit loud there. All right, so that should be better. Yeah, so we got the cool summer cups. I mean, I guess it's a hot stream, really, because it's the summer cup, you know. But
Yeah, we're
anyway,
sizzling hot here.
yeah, it is. It's warm over here. Not hot where I am, but I don't have to go too far to get quite hot. How about you two, Doctor Grash and Yosh?
I mean, it is past midnight already, so we pretty much can show some of the hot plays that we will be about to witness
Yeah,
as we watch the two matches that we are offered today.
yeah. There's some hopefully good matches. I'm not sure what the process for selecting matches is here. If it's just sort of
Well, you
random
look.
or if there's some sort of logic to it, I don't really know. I'm gonna
y-
pretend that there is some logic to it and say that these are incredible matches. Uh,
Undoubtedly. I'm sure they're going to be great.
yeah.
And
Anyway, we shall get to them now. I guess I mean it's not really a draft, but I'll show this anyway. Oh, I guess I should have hid some of that other nonsense from last season. Anyways,
And
it's not a draft, but instead they're just forced to play these 6 venues in this order.
wait, how can this not be a draft if Scout banned Redwoods and DeathTacticus banned Pub?
I mean, yeah,
I got my prepel wrong. Oh no.
this is clearly not a draft because there
Yeah.
is no sign of balcony anywhere, and the scout I know would definitely pick balcony.
yeah,
Um,
that is sad. This is. I mean, is it? I mean, this is. I'm hoping balcony shows up in one of the next rounds. They have not announced what uh, the venue selection is going to be like for the next rounds. But anyway,
yep.
uh,
But we are of course in the group stages, and DeathTacticus and Scout are both in Group A. DeathTacticus, of course, won last year's Summer Cup, so he is the
The
competitor to
reigning
beat.
champion.
Yeah, the reigning champion. Um, both both DT and Scout had played in SCL6. I think they were both in Obsidian.
Their match actually ended up as a 7-5 win for DeathTacticus, but I feel like both players have progressed a lot since those times because it,
For sure.
it was literally like more than a year ago. SCL was so long ago. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is actually quite an interesting group because we have DeathTacticus, who's probably the best player in the group itself and one of the contenders to take the cup outright. And we also have Screws, who has not been seen around much, but has been practicing a lot recently and is also posing a big threat. Scout is definitely going to be a little bit on the back foot here, but a win here should be a very good step towards making it to the player stage.
yep. All right. Anyway, I think we're ready to go. We can see this first match here. They are starting off
Yep.
on library because they have to.
It's it's nice and cool in the library before you end up on the
Yeah.
you
But
end on the very hot terrace
oh yeah,
outside. So
I imagine it gets quite warm over there in Greece. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I mean, it's
I,
on like the Mediterranean, I assume. So
yeah,
it's got a you got. I mean, I assume you get that little bit of a sea breeze. I'd hope.
I mean, it's also quite late at night as well, so
Yeah,
I'm going to imagine it's not as seasonally hot than
yeah.
just like
Might
very
be might be a bit
refreshingly
might be a bit humid.
warm.
That's what I'm guessing.
That's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah,
very salty as well, but
yeah.
we'll see how salty this game will end up being.
Yep. Yep, we shall see. Oh, wait, let me find the spy here. We got DT starting off as the first spy. Looks like as rocker.
Yes, indeed.
All
I'm
right,
ready to go.
go for it. One of you two count us in.
All right, let's start playing it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
See, we start with Grash counting us down because he's so much better at counting missions and everything else in the game.
Oh,
We do
that's
have a
an
very,
interesting little
very
pad miss, and we got a white time ad. Scout Scout could have seen us, but maybe hasn't noticed the time ad yet. But hopefully it was clean.
It was clean, it was completely off screen. As you know, its library, the early bug possibilities are endless, and Scout just prefers to take that a little bit extra time just to make sure that theft is secure and relatively unbugged. Play
Yeah,
people.
now we're taking this green book out. We got a far flirt with Kane for 29%. We tried to go for another flirt, but our flirtation cooldown takes too long. Unfortunately, we will not get it.
I like the idea of going for it anyway, because it is a very early flirt, and it is a very cheeky flirt. Not many people actually note them. Well, unless they are
Oh,
flirt pairing, in which case they will very much note them. But it
so
doesn't seem to be the case so far.
yeah, so DT just did some very cheesy things, maybe hoping to play off of Scout and hoping the Scout might notice. Ooh, and speaking of cheese, oh no. So I think DT actually in that very spot, there's a spot you can stand in where you can microphone outside the combo and you're behind the pillar, do the microphone animation. But it looks like we wanted to inch towards it, but might have missed it.
I
But we
think
had. Go ahead.
I think we were twitching into the conversations there, but unfortunately for the sniper, the laser was moving, and it's a lot harder to notice things when you are in the process of moving the laser around, trying to catch everything on this very, very wide and chunky venue.
Yeah. So we're at 63% now with this flirt. It feels like DT has been doing a ton of things, like moving with a flurry of progress, getting out of this conversation right away. But we don't have a lot to show for it yet. We've got this green book, which I anticipate
But
will definitely either microfilm or direct transfer. But
I'm going to bet that it's gonna go not in the green bookshelf, so probably going to be a direct. That said, our flirtation cooldown has expired, but we are a little bit stuck in the conversation here while Scout is diligently moving around and highlighting people who go to statues, as seems to be the usual form of etiquette amongst snipers. So far, not a lot of progress on either side, honestly.
okay, looks like we're going to. Yep, we're direct transferring this. We're doing pretty cheesy too. Ooh, it looks like it might be clean. So Scout will have to notice that our book is gone to detect that transfer.
The laser was on the left side through this entire time, so I believe that transfer movement was entirely off screen as well, which does add a bunch of points to DeathTacticus' chances of winning, but as we all know, the game might be lost at every single point. As
Yep.
for now, however, DT plays safe, gets a fingerprint, which is a nice mission. It's hard to track, especially on such a big venue where there are a lot of things for the ambassador to do. Goes to the conversation with a seduction target, finishes the flirt, and starts thinking about what next to do.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, we'd gone for a briefcase earlier, but it was largely behind pillar. So hopefully not credited with that print. Looks like we'll go for this one, which should be fresh.
And we are noted at it. The briefcase is usually quite easy to spot as a source of potential fingerprints. It's
Mm.
actually harder to note a briefcase that doesn't have fingerprints on it than one that does, because you always assume that it does, right? Because people return it to the ambassador
Oh
to
yeah,
get
yeah,
new
yeah.
ones.
Takes a lot more effort to track that a case doesn't have prints on it, but Scout gets. Oh no, DA leaves, but Scout gets a highlight on us, which might be big.
Yeah, I mean, we do have 3 missions done. We haven't gone to statues yet, which is one of the more important benchmarks in when sniper does shoot, and we haven't got a BB yet, which is another one of those things. So might be a little bit iffy for DT to try and finish, but on the other hand, we haven't done much necessarily besides that briefcase.
Okay. Looks like we're going for some inspects. The sniper laser is right over us, and it wouldn't make sense to swap right now.
I mean, we
We could.
are a highlight who goes to the statues. Usually we highlight 4 statues, so a highlight going to the statues means that inspects are probably finished. It's up to Scout to decide if that is indeed the case, or to remember if that is indeed the case. But on the other hand, DT needs to find some extra inspects, needs to find that last mission, and he only has 30 seconds remaining.
Oh, a shot comes off during our banana bread before the banana bread is spoken, which must just be tragic for Scout who takes the shot earlier. I wonder what Seek had done. It looks like he shot at bookcase, so I wonder if this was um accidentally thought to be a transfer.
I think it might just be. I'm not sure what the highlight was for, honestly. I'm going to assume that for statues, because that is, once again, the usual course of action.
Yeah,
down here.
I'm not sure. It felt like Scout had highlighted us for completing Prince, at least with the timing of the highlight. But I'm not sure for Seek what it had been. I'm looking back to see. Um, looks like he must have had that book for a while. Oh, here it is. Okay.
So we are marked suspicious, maybe for a potential bug, as the ambassador was passing near us. That
Mm,
looks a little bit like a hand that's swinging out if you look at the bounces
Yeah.
that Sync does there before entering the
Yeah.
bookcase. So looking at the Sync...
Scout in chat is saying it was print that got the shot.
That's also fair.
okay.
Well, beauty is in the eye, or something. I don't know.
Well, in any
That
case,
said,
yeah, DT
let's
will
move
take
on.
that first game, and we will see if DT can pull ahead with a sniper win as well. Scout as Teal now.
Ooh, very
All right.
interesting. Let's see how Mom fares in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And a very interesting ST choice. I think that is not going to be as successful because, once again, Queen has someone on the side. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about SpyParty. Not a lot of early progress so far, but we are going in right next to our seduction target to get that early flirt and get highlight. Very erratic laser movement from DT so far, but it seems to be quite successful, highlighting Teal Mom Jennifer for that very, very quick talk on the entry.
Yeah, so really nice pickup from DT. I really like it. Seeing the kind of position in the conversation and the quick talk gets us a highlight. And if DT remembers it, this is not going to look good.
We did end up in essentially the same position as we were in
Yeah.
like a minute ago, which is going to raise some amount of red flags, I believe, in the head of the sniping Dutchman. Sorry, forgot my narratives. And yeah, ooh, a shift already as the laser just continues zooming around the venue, looking at everything and nothing at the same time somehow.
Well, I think, I think library is one of those venues that really tests the sniper, knowing how to maintain their attention and protect the ambo while also protecting from cheese, of course. So we'll have to see. It looks like we're going to timer float this to finish and maybe hoping that we can cook this blue book long enough to put it somewhere else.
Ooh,
Oh, no!
unfortunately. Oh, that is going to be very unfortunate. The seduction target basically leaves as soon as we are ready to proceed with the timer flirt, which would have been very nice for us because now we have to end up next to Queen again, which would
Yeah.
be very, very hard tally in the eyes of DT, who is apparently tracking flirt a lot.
Well, thankfully it is a far flirt.
Well, it is going to be enough to secure that mission. On the other hand, we haven't done much. We haven't done anything really. Seduce is just one mission out of 5, and we have just slightly more than 2 minutes to do the 4 things that we need to do besides doing that. And
Yeah.
let's see how that will go for us.
So this is kind of one of the big moments to see if we can get away with this direct transfer. And oh, nope.
Immediately shot.
Yeah, it does feel like that whole game we were DT's top suspect. Um, Catching that early convo entry and flirt really paid dividends. DT was able to confirm pretty quickly that yes, Teal was flirt paired with small man or queen there, and that'll win a game.
Yeah. And like we start flirting immediately after we enter the conversation, which usually you are quite safe to do because there's a lot of things to look at and that's not quite notable, but DT apparently is trying to catch those little inconsistencies, which seems to be the main problem here. And
Yeah.
once you are the highlight, you are one of the first highlights of the game, so the sniper's kind of focusing on you. The first book is noted, and so is the second one.
Yeah. I would expect nothing less from the reigning cup champion, but still lots of games to play for Scout to catch up. So we will see if she can snipe DT here on Courtyard, and we got DT as king.
Ooh. That will be interesting because Courtyard is a notably spy favorite venue, as everyone does say.
As
But
everyone knows.
let's see if it will actually end up being true in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Although I do like this Summer Cup variant where there's a couple extra guests. I think it makes it a bit more interesting. DT with a very interesting path into the statues there.
And going for a very quick swap, that's a nice
Whoa!
swap. We are seen living, so that is going to be a highlight, but not sure if the swap happened. And we get caught on hairs there on the path to a different statue. I'm pretty
Oh
sure
my gosh.
statue to statue is illegal, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's not. But it's very cheesy and potentially very suspicious. Less suspicious on Courtyard, of course, because you only need one set of inspects. But I wonder there if Scout had caught the just the animation break, or whether it was more the
I
worrying
think
about
it's
swap. Yeah.
I think it's more the pathing. We are seen leaving the statue pad, which means that we were at statues.
Yeah, the swap,
An attempt to return
all
a
the statue
briefcase
holding was
here, I
completely
think
off screen.
was quite nice, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And yeah, Didi can definitely just play for time. He has slightly less than 2 minutes to finish his flirt, fire off the banana bread, and be done with it. He is a highlight in the party, one of the few ones, so he's probably a prime target for a shot potentially. But you can't just wait for the sniper to get tired, to get annoyed with the AIs in the party before firing off that banana bread.
And speaking of which, it looks like we're gonna potentially go for it.
The flirtation cooldown has expired. We can return to Queen at any time if we choose to. Speaking of Queen, why are everyone suddenly choosing her as a Steam? That's the second game in a row.
Banana
I'm not
bread.
sure. Okay, we do go for it, and that is a shot from Scout. Scout, at least suspicious enough on top of it. And this was actually a risky contact to take. We were the only one with the real DA, and so you really hope that the SDA is well, it's not text, I suppose. I guess the rest of everybody was in conversation, but it's enough for Scout, and so she is on the board with a point now.
The other thing to note here is that we banana bread right after we pick up a drink, which, if you time it quickly enough, might look like we are taking a drink while we're banana breading, which
Yeah.
makes us an AI. So a very interesting attempt from DT. Unfortunately, it gets caught. Unfortunately for him, of course. And Scout gets one more point.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Well,
You
let's see
need
if
to win the
Scout
spy
can sweep
side too.
Courtyard. Yeah. Let's get it playing in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Well, I was talking about Queen just before that, but look at the seduction target now. It's notably not a Queen, and Irish is lost. So lost, in fact, that she gets presumed to be an AI, and therefore gets a well-earned lowlight, honestly.
Yeah. So we get this first flirt. It's 47%. We're just slightly too far. So this will be a 3 flirt, but at least we can be a bit further for our second 2 sets of flirts. And I don't see any sign of Queen anywhere, so maybe Sari is the true Queen here.
Ooh. Well, Queen is there. It's just that this
She
time
is.
around
She's the DA.
she's
Yep, I see her now. Yep.
going to exchange some culinary details with our spy, shall we
Oh, how
say.
fun.
General joins right next to us. That's beautiful for us because it's usually the active parents' relationships that gets more assumed to try and flirt aggressively. But this time around, not a lot of suspicion, I assume, from DT here.
Yeah, and so very helpful redirect from General. We will take a banana bread here.
Banana
It looks
bread.
like a very good one. This conversation's very full and only a couple out of conversation.
Ooh, and then instant stop talk, which is not noticed by DT, unfortunate laser position on the venue. But on the other hand, Scout does get away with a lot of things here. However, Courtyard is usually about getting that fourth mission, which you never know which one it may be. The timeout is green, and that's that.
Yeah, we're going in for inspects here. Oh, no, we're not. We will just be oh, and a shot's coming off on Twin.
I'm not sure what happens there. Maybe a potential swap.
Yeah, Twin would have had Real BB was in the conversation with Double Agent and had been a highlight at the time. So I wonder if what the highlight would have been for.
It's just a highlight for being lost.
Oh, I wonder if it was bug credit given here.
Wait, it's the wrong twin. It's the twin that was not highlight actually throughout the game. Just
Oh,
going away
interesting.
from the statues, I presumed, well, inspect, you can figure out literally any fourth mission that you want.
Okay.
A swap, a
DT in
bug.
chat saying that there were prints, so that's too bad. And yes, that is the statue the ambassador had touched, so that checks out. So an active AI unfortunately gets the shot from DT, and so now we got a tied game.
Ooh, that's exciting. And up next, we do have, as some lovers of this particular venue might say, the most balanced venue in the game, which is a take. I'm not sure if I agree or disagree, but it's
Well,
definitely interesting to witness some spy versus sniper clashes on Ballroom as per usual. And this time we are actually picking general, using Disney as our seduction target. Do you want to count us in?
sure, let's go in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And I'll say, I really think that because this is the Summer Cup, it really is a hot take.
Ooh.
From our beloved TOOP, um, of course, well known for having the correct opinion that Ballroom is the best venue. So
Which is why Ballroom has not been leaving the play pools of the cups for the last year at least. That said, we do have some very early century inspects from Disney, our seduction target, which I'm pretty sure both players might notice, and one of the players might use it to their advantage. Who knows?
Yep, and we get another fingerprintable drink. DT had done this on library too.
Ooh, it's
And
also hard print, which we green, so it's even less trackable. Very nice
yeah,
from us.
very nice. So that puts us in a good start, despite how slow it might feel. We do get this flirt now. It is white though.
Oh, white flirt, green flirt. It doesn't matter. The flirt that matters is the time we spent with friends along the way. That said, we do sip a drink. We do chase our seduction target across the
Ooh.
venue. That is potentially very interesting, but I'm not sure if Scout is trained in the dark arts of flirt pairing.
Now, this is an interesting conversation position. We're trusting that Scout notices we got this drink, we didn't bug on our way in, and we haven't been highlit, so that's good. But setting ourselves up potentially to grab this briefcase once the ambassador gets far enough away.
And try to grab the briefcase. We can also try and yoink the print from the statue itself. It doesn't actually have to be the most suspicious thing on the venue. But look, a mission is a mission, and it's only up to you how to accomplish it. That's the beauty of the game, and that's how we will play it. As for now, the ambassador does not seem to be in a very buggable position, which is probably something that we might want to look at, considering that the timer is almost at 1 minute. We still need our inspects, we still need our flirt, we still need a banana bread.
Yeah, and
However,
DT agreeing with you. Too much to do with too little time. It takes the time out here, which I really like. I think that's a very good decision, and it helps a lot that it's green.
gets us use. We do stop talk, but it doesn't seem to matter much because there's someone else talking in the conversation. People are known to shut up when they're being spoken over. So that's that. Going to the statue is the one that has a fingerprint on it, and this is one of the reasons why we might be receiving a highlight there. And also look at Scout's laser. She is guarding the swap potentially.
Yeah. There aren't a lot of highlights on the venue, which does make me think this might be a highlight for the prints rather than than a first inspect. And we've got what's looking to shape up to be a reasonable contact. So we'll have to decide whether DT will finish with inspects
Banana
after
bread.
that, or whether we'll find something else to finish on. A few lowlights coming off, but a good contact. Ooh, and a shot comes off.
It does. It indeed does. Unfortunately, the target is not quite the spy, which is a little bit of an issue. and
Yeah.
which means that we do have a point for DT at the
And
start
it was, yeah, it was a real contact for Tex. Maybe Tex was paired with microfilm, had been to both bookshelves.
Look
And I
at the
wonder with a bug
passing
too.
right
Yeah.
before the mark. I'm pretty sure that it was a bug right here for that
Yeah.
path.
Okay.
That said,
Well,
we do have Scout trying to get back into the drone position on the board. Playing as Red Dress, Oprah, Hair. I'm not sure how you guys keep naming those characters. Yeah, we shall
Alright.
see how the games will go in 3, 2, 1, playing it. That is a very chaotic position at the start of the game for Ballroom, I feel like. A
Yeah.
lot of movement here, but not a lot of good opportunities for ourselves, which is always
taken.
quite unfortunate. But
Yeah, we're moving in for our flirt, and we get bounced around a bit. Now, Scout probably being a bit more tentative with this flirt. We had been
well,
ooh,
that's a play. I mean, I respect it. It is a very early Purloin. If it is green, that is actually quite an interesting idea for us to try. And now it's up for DP to remember all of the frantic rejecting that happened in the first few seconds of the venue. However, we are the prime suspect. We did took the list after all, which means that we have to play this game very carefully from now on.
yeah, DT really has the party narrowed down. We're one of 3 or 4 suspects maybe, which makes it look like it's gonna be very hard to finish.
Well, as of now, we will not do much. I mean, it's not like you are able to do much if you are already highlighted in a sea of lowlights, which means that you're probably just getting shot for the next mission completion or something like that. Probably a banana bread is a very bad option currently, especially with that many people in the conversation. You never know which ones of them might be the SDA.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna try to go for a flirt here. This is gonna be close potentially. Ooh, a little safety off on us too.
Yup, indeed. Ooh, interesting passing from Canes are receiving neutral suspicion and actually full suspicion of the snipers. That's interesting as both lovers seem to bounce around the venue for a little while before unfortunately ending up separate. I've read a book
Yeah,
like that before.
yeah. I almost wonder if it's just DT trying to track and make sure that we're not flirting. I guess we'll have to see.
Ooh, that
Oh,
would be
DT
an
confirms that.
interesting idea.
Yeah, DT confirms it in chat. It's a suspicious ST highlight.
Suspicious target highlight.
Oh, and the DA leaves before we're able to banana bread, which is really rough.
Well, the time is running out. We don't have much to. Well, we don't have much done. We still need one more flirt. We still need the inspects. So one of the better options currently is maybe just trying to get some more time on the clock or something. Or try to provoke a safe shot, which also does not seem like a good idea, especially from the sniper's view, looking at how much the party has been narrowed down, how well it has
Yeah.
been played.
The time at is white,
And
but we haven't been shot yet.
it's,
Ooh, it's a fun walking bug. I like that.
I'm not sure if that is actually noticed, but the timing is actually funky and well timed. It hits just before the beep beeps. As we all know, at 30 seconds before the end of the game, the beep beep start ticking, which make time ads very, very annoying to get away with. So right under the bell here, going to our seduction target, finishing out flirt, and it's up to do a BB or find something else to do to end the game for us.
Yeah,
In
well,
one
let's
way
see if
or the other.
our double agent is agreeable with us, but it might look very suspicious. Of course, we don't know that the STA is in this conversation. We do decide to move.
We do end up at the statues. That is a side statue that's not too easy to guard, but this angle for the sniper makes it very, very nice for the swap is white and the swap is shot for. Unfortunate, but you know, a panic button had to be pressed at some point. This was just a very,
Yeah.
very
No, I
harsh
don't.
game to play.
I think it was. I think it was a good attempt. Sorry had been there just before us, who was I think maybe the only other person in a chain. I'm wondering how many people had been offered to before us. It
Actually,
was Sorry and then us. So Scout was mindful of that the whole time. Um, so I think it was a very
and
good attempt at a frame, but DT was laser focused on it, making sure to see the fade.
can we also look at the bug yet again, because it's just so beautifully done by Scout. Very nice bug to stay in the game where you are pretty much the main suspect from second one.
Yeah, very nice double walking bug. Love to see it.
And the hand is practically invisible. The only thing that gives it away is maybe some pathing knowledge, but
Yeah.
that's it.
All right.
We move on to one of our smaller venues and probably one of my favorites, Highrise. A little bit of a weird setup in this particular
wait.
competition compared to the
Oh, no.
rest.
You're fine. You're fine. Sorry.
And we are starting as Irish, using Seek as our seduction target for the evening. In
All
3,
right. Oh, whoop.
2,
Okay. All right. Let's
1,
go. Yep.
playing it.
Kletos is just doing a excellent job showing our replay, so I want to make sure he is ready.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But all that said, we do have microfilm on, so we're starting off with this green bookcase, and
Have to point out, for Summer Cup, Highrise is having a little bit of a format change. People have been arguing that there's not enough place in the meta for a swap or a microfilm transfer. So this time around, we have added one more potential mission to do, but we made it so you have to pick either microfilm or swap as that extra mission, which means you can choose basically one of those two and something else, or maybe both of them if you like to live a very wild life. DT has a book from the back conversation, from the back bookshelf, I believe, from green, right?
yeah, I believe so. So far, a fairly active conversation. Kane got center inspects, so we may keep an eye on him later and try to make sure he gets a real BB.
Our flirt is a 57% as well, so some quite nice progress. Highrise, in my opinion, is a venue on which you can idle for a little bit and do it quite successfully. But this time around, we don't. We decide not to microfilm transfer. We just go, return it very safely, very casually, and we maybe try to look for a chain in the meantime, because that purloin on the mission list is also quite interesting as an option to try. Have to
Yeah, I
point
wonder
out
what
that
we'll do. Yeah.
the ambassador in this case is not theft, it's tax, which is important because some people sometimes get to tunnel theft a little bit too much, because he's usually the ambassador for many people because of his size. And yeah, oh, I'm not saying that because it happens to me. Definitely not.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits sometimes of being a player who might hard random their whole cast. But neither of these players have been doing so. Tex is probably the second most common ambassador, and in this case, I feel like
Dude,
the big
that's
distinction.
a
Ooh,
bug. Ooh,
ooh.
the snapback is visible, but it does coincide with us getting our second arm back because we return to our standing animation with the briefcase. So
red.
actually, quite a nice timing here. The banana bread is green, and it's also a fake, but it doesn't matter much because a target is shot, and it's exactly Kane. You were right from the get-go.
Yeah, Kane had been in conversation for a while, so I think the shot makes a lot of sense. Knowing that if Kane was the spy, that would very likely be how they played. So,
I will
I
note he
think
didn't actually finish inspect, so
ooh,
he was at center statue, but Boots was at one of the other ones the whole time, so he couldn't have finished.
oh,
Well,
that's so,
look.
that's
But
so
he could have
sad.
bugged because it's Papa Nature.
That's true. That's true.
He could have bugged if bug is on. Yes, it is on. Okay.
Okay, DG Henry Kletos. A statue is a statue. You can't say it's only a half. And a client might be still fresh in the mind, especially if it has been a lot of time since the credit was given to the eventual
Yeah.
shot.
I
That
feel like
said,
that's one of the things that can be so important to monitor uh on Highrise, like these venues with so few guests. Um, Also, Kane only does one cycle, so I think for Kane it's not possible to get all 3 inspects in one cycle anyway.
not with
Um,
that attitude.
but it's just not. I think it's only possible for Rocker and Pearls, if I'm recalling correctly, because their cycles are much longer. But regardless, it's a shot that makes sense from Scout, but unfortunately not DT. So Scout will now play for her chance at winning on Highrise.
And we do have DeathTacticus on the sniper side. We do have Alice as the spy, and we do have the spy being AI controlled as they always are at the start of the game, which means that we are ready to begin in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Ooh, and a very early bug.
Uh,
That is unfortunately not gonna stick, but it was a very nice attempt. I don't think it was seen. We are going to the side statues at the back. We might not be even seen there.
yeah, we slightly out of range, which is unfortunate, but thankfully not credited. It would appear.
And the white banana bread right on entries, that might be a little bit of
Banana
an
bread.
issue, especially considering how
Oh,
behaviorally the earlier games ended up for us, especially the library game where we got tunneled for exactly that thing.
okay. Thankfully, we weren't cursed with an extremely long banana bread. It always gives me the spooks when Toby is offering right when you hit a white banana bread, because you can't
Ooh.
respond to him the whole time until it's done. But we responded within a reasonable time frame. Um, so hopefully not picking up too much extra suspicion for that.
We,
And then
we
just
also
with the
end up
Oh,
sorry,
sorry.
we also end up double talking, as do the casters with each other, and our second talk is actually a flirt, a white one, but it's still nice. It still means that we are able to finish it on time if we even timer flirt both of them, and maybe get a little bit quicker if we move around a little bit more. That said, we reject yet again, and we wait for our timer to expire.
Yeah, thankfully the banana bread wasn't terrible. I think the SDA was in the other conversation, so we will have to see what we can make of it. We will finish our inspects, maybe? Nope, we will not. We will.
I
Hmm.
don't like this position, but that was an attempt at returning the briefcase. Ooh, a shift on twin here. Not sure what for, but the suspicion is there.
Yeah, I think ultimately our redirect looked okay, which is good. So we will finish our flirt, but then we'll have to decide what we can do for our third mission, whether we'll get shot for going to inspects again, or what we'll
Uh,
do.
it's our first inspect in the mind of the sniper. I don't think we ever saw us add those statues. And we are going to the statues. We are going to the back statues yet again, which means that we are not able to finish our inspects, but we go for a swap instead. The mission win countdown is in effect. 3, 2,
Oh,
1, clank.
oh, the
Nice.
clank. That is that is
Gotta
just
love me a clank.
excellent. Wow. Had anybody else been to that statue recently? That's very interesting. I like the play. I think it's very fun to take advantage of how neglected the side of the venue can be. And no, nobody had been there. So
And look at the lasers. Laser doesn't even turn there. The laser is just sitting there, looking at Twin, looking for an opportunity to maybe shoot him for something. I don't know. Fortunately, a little bit of a wrong tunnel here from the sniping Dutchman. And the venue is swept by the spies.
well, that is a quality statement with the clank. You love to see it. Um
Oh,
so
I
we
do.
will so we will move on to Modern and DT playing as Rocker again.
Ooh, gonna rock the world and play that spy game in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Have to note that the red triangle this time around is on none other than our favorite superstar, Smallman. He's a superstar because he's famous for very cheesy plays, very cheeky plays. A lot of people like playing him as a spy, which means that he's always suspicious. And he's that much more suspicious when you make sure that he can't be an SDA by making him a seduction target.
Yeah, and the power of small man is just hard to deny. So I think great to have as an ST. We'll go ahead and take a delegate option alongside our first 34% flirt.
Starting our 1 minute timer right about now. If we get to talk with someone and that special someone goes to the bar and takes a drink, the list will be magically disappearing. I don't know how it ends up in our hands specifically, but details. We don't worry about
Yeah,
them.
yeah. They work that out later. It's fine. Uh, we're at 58% floating with small man again.
A little bit of respect given both to DT and to the small man himself. Just staying a little bit back, we are knowing that we probably will not be able to get away with a 2 flirt, we will need to 3 flirt. So losing that extra percentage doesn't matter too much, but does give some more safety for us. And the
Yep.
instant delegate as
Ooh.
we go into the conversation. Will it take? Doesn't seem so. There's a lot of people at the bar. And yes, indeed, the timer has expired.
Yeah. Yeah. That is too bad, but we will finish our flirt. We will try to finish our flirt. Unfortunately, it's only 92%.
Ah, you hate to see that. Unfortunately, a little bit of
Yeah.
extra distance that we have given earlier is biting us a little bit in the butt. But let's not worry about that too much. The game is still going, and we still have like 3 and 8% missions to do. One of which will.
Yeah, it does feel like we're in a spot where we're gonna have to put on the gas and do a bit of a reverse rush.
Or
DT
a
maybe
frame.
paying attention to who we could frame, who is just at bar. Um,
Ooh, and look at that lowlight from Scout. Lowlight in general, just for moving that far into the venue. It is a little bit of a risky play, but from time to time it is actually quite nice to do because you know that spies never go somewhere where they don't have anything to do, right? Because they need
and,
to do stuff.
and it does take so much time. We're gonna go right into get some inspects here.
And
That does,
highlight?
yeah, it does give us a highlight.
Well, it's par for the course, really. There are a lot of highlights at the venue, so I wouldn't be too phased with it. But on the other hand, the timer is ticking down very rapidly. We only have around 1 minute remaining on the clock to get done with our inspects and pick up 2 more missions, one of which is probably a purloin.
Yeah, I do wonder what we'll do from here. It does seem like there's too much to do and not enough time.
Well, you can always add some time.
That is true. That is true. Will we do
It is
just
not.
that? No, we will not. We will go into this conversation.
Ooh, I like this play. We're basically committing to a frame here. We're going for a fake banana bread. It's unfortunately a white, but it doesn't matter much. We delegate instantly just so we have a chance to see boots at bar, just to make some more commotion on the venue as well as we go for that fated time ad. 1
Yeah,
minute on the clock yet again.
and it's a white time ad during the beep beeps. Um,
The lowlights come out, but it is also including the target who will eventually take the list, and the list is taken. We gulps the drink right before it is,
yeah,
and
we're
now
one.
it's up to Scott.
We are one of the few remaining highlights, but we still have a mission and a half to do.
Yeah, we still need to contact because we haven't done it the first time around. It was a fake. This time around, it's going to be a real, but it's also going to be a white, and we get shot for top.
I don't even think the banana bread came off. We were just shot for beginning it.
For flirt, essentially. Because the timer was getting low. With the time at, we saw a purloin, we saw a white time at, so there aren't that many targets on the venue who could have gone for it.
Yeah.
And just the combination of those factors allow Scout to successfully deduce who the spy is and get a very nice shot.
Yeah. A good Spy shot indeed. And so now we will see if Scout can manage not to get shot herself as Salmon. All right.
In 3, 2, 1, planet. You know what letter Salmon has?
I'm not sure.
Q. You know why I know this?
Why?
Because I like spelling things with the names. And Q is a letter that I need a lot in my line of SpyParty playing. That said, we do have a bunch of people at the bar. They do receive their highlights, and the lowlights are also there on the suspected double agents. We pick a green book from the bookshelf. We go right next to our seduction target, get our first white flirt for 34%, and get to enjoy the view as well.
We will try to get into this conversation. QQ indeed, but we do manage to get in there, and our ST leaves. No. Oh, it's a tragedy. But we're we're playing it cool. We're all right.
I think I've read a book like that as well. Might have stopped at some point, but not sure. That said, we will return. No, we will return to a conversation, not the book. I'm pretty sure that book is not going back into green, right?
Possibly not. Although we were shot pretty decisively on library for a direct transfer, and it might weigh on Scout's mind. Thinking about
We were a
whether it's
highlight
viable or not. Yeah.
from very early on, and this time around, DT actually has quite an honest laser on those venues where he doesn't have to run around like a maniac. For example, in Highrise, the tunnel was quite obvious on most of the play on the conversation area, which did allow to go for swap play. So
That is, yeah, that is true, and it didn't really seem like felt the laser
this
on us
is
much when we were at the shelf. So
this is quite an idle rotation. So I feel like Scout can feel quite safe to go for the play, and I don't think it would be too bad, honestly. And it is
oh
indeed going to be the choice.
yeah, we're going all the way to red. Um, our path into the pad was a little roundabout, but it looks like hopefully not noticed from DT. We haven't been shot yet, so looks like it's gonna be clean.
Well, it is in fact clean, and the highlight is on wheels for a second before he gets
Oh,
neutrally back again. The seduction target is right next to us, which means it's flirt time. Green
yep.
test, 85%. One more needed.
Yeah,
Ooh.
apologizing for the bail earlier. Oh, a red cough.
The hand is on screen, but it is not noticed, which is why DT opts to go for lowlights on targets that he saw not coughing
Oh,
instead. And
oh,
lowlights a spy.
oh,
No,
no.
never mind. That was close.
Okay. Presumably DT might have seen a little flash of movement from our conversation. Decides it's one of these two, which almost surely means that this is going to be a potentially deadly place to be, and unfortunately it is. So
It was an interesting attempt. Even if we're not maybe finishing with inspects, because inspects are usually very scary if someone tries to rush them in the last minute for the spy, because snipers usually shoot for that. It's also a fingerprintable statue, so we could potentially try to rush fingerprints, finish our flirt in the meantime, and be done with it. Unfortunately, yeah, the red test is not as easy to shake off against a current summer comp champion.
yeah, I think we had
Oh.
a nice path to victory there, but unfortunately the red test. I agree with you. I think that's what does us in. So, because it did feel like our microphone was clean. So, a little heartbreaking. So DT takes at least the tie here. And so Scout will be fighting for the tie on Terrace.
A very small venue, a venue where
Very
you
small.
can do not much, but it's about those things that you do. All of them matter that much more because there are way less of them.
Well,
And as
it
for our
feels all the.
spy
It,
choice,
it is yeah, it is a small venue, but it feels all the bigger when you're a small man. So.
hey, and our seduction target is also quite small, just to fit the bill. That said, we shall begin with a that very, very small game in 3, 2, 1, lane it.
I do feel like I've seen Small Man in several of these sets on Summer Cup this year. Oh, this is a very tempting bug to consider for DT.
Oh, is it? The angle is very, very visible for. And maybe it would have been interesting to try and get a bug away while the ambassador was pathing away from us, while he's covering the laser with his very huge body. Uh, especially considering that we are the small man. I don't
Yeah,
know.
with the big man. Yeah, I think it's just so hard, right? Because you're already small man, and you might already worry that if the sniper wasn't watching for just a moment, you might get credited with that bug. But thankfully, it appears that we haven't been. We'll get our first flirt for 34%.
That said, I have to agree with you. I have seen Smallman in multiple games this Summer Cup. Sometimes even as a spy. That said, we take our last sip of drink, get rid of the drink as quickly as possible so we can get away with a bug later on. And the banana bread is here. We do see that Tex is low lead because he has just entered the conversation as well, so it doesn't matter much. The delegate is here on the low light as our seduction target splits. And another banana bread, this time around a fake for a different conversation.
Banana bread.
Or rather, a second fake. Interacted more at, wheels because he has just left alongside the target who takes the least. He has just went for a banana bread, which is real for him, so he's that much more suspicious. And he's going for a briefcase.
A very exciting little redirect from DT there. From the yeah, I like that a lot. Not sure if it'll get rewarded. We certainly weren't low lit, but it looks like we have the opportunity for a difficult print coming up.
Ooh, that would be interesting. Also, another chance at framing the Purloin. We do see that the timer is slowly starting to tick out, less than a minute remaining. I don't think we're finishing this flirt unless we get away with a timer or something. So the prime course of action here is frame. Let's see what will happen there. We are marked suspicious. Not yet, sorry. Spoilers. But we are flirting.
I do agree with you. I think the only way out here is a frame, or hoping that a very active AI gets a shot. We have banana breaded a few times.
Well, a very active AI that just happened to move
Yep.
from a fake banana bread to a real one has just
Here-
moved and taken the list.
Yep.
Will
And here's
Scout
the moment of
notice?
truth. Yes. The correct shot comes off. A very nice shot.
And a very small truth.
So this is the big game, which will get us to
Keeping
see
herself
whether
in the game, but unfortunately, you not only have to win the sniper side, you also have to hold it together on the spy, which is generally harder in high-level SpyParty. Let's see how Scout will do this, paying homage to the DT game in our seduction target choice, and picking up Jennifer Tillman is the name that we agreed on last time around as our spy.
who knows? So many possibilities, but I mean, I'm definitely on Team Teal, but let's get started in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Hashtag Team Teal.
I think my favorite one was Waterloo, because it's the color of the Waterloo and City line in London, but it doesn't matter much for us because the first inspect is a green. And that is a little bit of progress, not much, but it's honest work. Also a flirt, that is a 33%. Going right next to the second statue, picking up that one. And white swapping for the small man. And getting highlight, not shot, just highlight.
This is a very bold move. You think about doing this, it's the last game of the set. You have to win it to tie, and you know that DT is sharp enough that he's gonna pick up on it, either shoot you for the fade itself or put it down to 2, and that's exactly where we are.
My favorite part is that the fade is exactly on screen. I think after this, I wouldn't have moved next to Smallman because now we are going to be framing ourselves a little bit for the flirt. But the fake banana bread is green, not that it matters.
It's not real for
Ooh.
us or small man. Oh my gosh.
Honestly, I want the red flirt just to send Smallman for a banana bread and frame him with a real. That may be one of the higher percentage options here because DT is not looking at many people here.
Yeah, gosh. I kind of agree with you. I think some red flirts here might pay dividends. Although
Ooh,
our
Smallman?
small man just
Nope,
leaves on his own.
just
He's gonna
statues.
finish inspects.
Oh, that's true actually.
Oh my god.
Doesn't
Okay,
have the
so
flirt, right?
well, I
Or
guess
maybe
that would be
does.
what we'd have to think about. He's talked at least once. So if he comes back in here and talks again, that might be hard to not shoot. For
1 minute
now,
on the clock.
he's kind of wandering around and going to bar.
And he's getting the list. Might potentially frame him for a Perlin as well. Because heck it, why not? Just do all the hard tells.
Yeah, but there's all sorts of meta thoughts he could be having right now, like whether Scout would actually finish in specs, or whether she wouldn't in this situation.
Finishing
You
the
know, Small
flirt
Man
here,
does
which
does start talking again and was in this conversation before.
we didn't move as soon as he starts talking, which means that we're not framing him for first Perlin, which means that we're trying to do something else, but I'm not sure what options are left for us. Maybe a timeout. Moving to
Yeah.
the bar now, but I think it's slightly too late and it's already
Oh,
past 10 seconds, which means it will be overtime.
there will
But
be overtime.
the moment of truth, the list
Oh my gosh.
is taken, and Spy is shot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, did not quite
Wow.
work out for Scout.
Yeah. So that such an interesting match, right? We try to frame with the delegate on Smallman. Um, after having done the the frame swap statue, I like the gumption. I think it's a very interesting thing to do on your last game. But unfortunately, DT decides no. I think Teal is the spy.
I mean,
So
the other thing to point out is that Smallman is over complete, right? He went to both sets of statues, so he has inspects. He swapped the statue. I mean, let's entertain this idea, even though we saw the frame. Even though we saw the fade, it's always nice to consider more options because what if we are wrong? And he's taken the Perline, and there's a swap on the table. Sorry, not swap, but flirt. 4 out of 8 is not how Terrace is meant to be played, which is why it is played as a 3 out of 7.
yeah, I suppose the only
So,
the only situation where maybe it makes sense for Smallman to delegate is if he can't finish flirt and thinks it'd be too suspicious to go back and forth. Um, but yeah, I have to agree. It's a long shot. So, but
well, just like
DT
the
takes
sniper's laser.
yeah, just like the
Mhm.
sniper's laser. So Scout unfortunately uh, will not take this set. DT will emerge victorious. 7-5
Hold
though,
on.
very close.
Yeah. Actually, kind of mirroring their game in SEL, where it ended up 7-5, also in favor of the Tacticus. So, a little bit of a callback there.